In any industry, everybody has a reputation. You absolutely suck if you don't do that. What kind of a reputation you want to have within this space? If more people are going to be working from home, there's going to be a bigger need for you. Someone's got to be able to disrupt the industry. The money's out there.
Hello, I'm Dr. William E. Morgan, president of Parker University and Parker Seminars. And with me today is a very special guest, Patrick Bet-David. Patrick, thanks for joining us today.
Anytime. I just enjoyed the entire experience here. Phenomenal event.
It was intense. And you called us out as a profession. And I think you kind of delineated between two paths we could take. Can you extrapolate on that a little bit?
Yes, I think because I believe in what you guys do and I need it, right? I mean, even when I sat down, what did you say before I sat down? You look like you need adjustments, right? Yes. And you do. So whether we're on a trip, like right now when we are doing events and I'm speaking for 4 days and I'm on my feet for 12 hours, the system, the science that we have now is we have to bring somebody to do adjustments every day for me and we have to do it before the event. So I'm a big believer of the industry. Then my mind, because of the way I'm wired, I'm just looking at who's going to do something big with this. You know, you go to a restaurant and whether it's 11 Madison or in New York, or you go to a local Italian restaurant and you say, why did the hostess leave us standing there for so long and didn't ask anything? And why didn't they just say, can we get you something from the bar? Or why didn't they do that? And they could, at this hotel, Ritz-Carlton always gets it right. Why don't these guys get it right? All I'm thinking about is that experience. I think this industry has a massive upside for disruption because it's not going away. We're spending more time sitting down. So let's just say people are going to be working from home. Let's go in that direction. Okay, if more people are going to be working from home, sitting down, there's going to be a bigger need for you, right? Data shows this industry is going to grow 9% for the next 7-8 years, and it's going to be an $18.5 billion industry. How much of that money is going to go to who? Someone's got to be able to disrupt the industry. The money's out there, but there's got to be someone creative that maybe reads the book Blue Ocean Strategy that finds a way to disrupt the whole thing.
Boom, I love that book. I love your books too. And what you just said there when you spoke to our audience was the money's out there. Who's going to get it?
Yep.
And that's the salient point, I feel, of your whole talk is like, are you going to let the insurance companies take it? Are you going to let other people take it, other organizations? How do I get my share? And you said you might be satisfied being a salary guy, or you might want to go ahead and be big.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to those at home who weren't here for this talk on how they can get that money? How can they be part of that industry in an ethical way?
In any industry, in any room we're in, everybody has a reputation. You have a reputation, I have a reputation. In sports, people have reputations. They have a reputation for not showing up in the fourth quarter. They have a reputation for making comebacks. Brady's got a reputation. Michael's got a reputation. You know, every business person has a reputation. Makes money, loses it. Makes money, loses it. Makes money, loses it, right? And some people make money, and they keep striving. The individual within this industry have to ask themselves, what kind of a reputation you want to have within this space? Is there a market for it? Yes. How big is the market? Plenty. Is there enough for me to make $1 million a year? Yes. 10 million a year? Yes. 100 million a year? Yes. What's 100 million on 18.5 billion? Nothing. 1% of 18.5 billion is $185 billion. 10% is 1.85. 1% would be 185 million. 0.1% would be 18.5 million. If you go 0.01%, it's still 1.85 million. You can make so much money within that space. So then reputation is one, then it's differentiator, then it's the way you shape your client's mindset. Because there are those who you get a client in, and when you're a rookie salesperson in anything, you're just glad you're getting the sale. You're like, oh my God, my first customer, man, I just made $1,000. I just made $500. I just made $250. This is so great. And then you experience client abuse, clients that abuse you. But because you're so desperate and small that you take it, and it happens in every profession. And some people are like, maybe this is what I need to do. And the client just kind of, they're late 45 minutes, or they're late, you don't have any clients anyways, it's okay, I'm here. So you're allowing that abuse to take place. Then it comes to a point where you're making money, you're formidable. And then for me, it was when I realized I can compete in the space. Once that happens, then you decide what is the profile of clients that I want? What is the profile of types of people that I want to work with? What is the profile of person that I want as a client long-term? Well, I want them to be da. If I'm within the space, I would talk to my client and I would say the following. Because I've had chiropractors I go to, they don't ask me any questions, they could care less about my family. If I leave a chiropractor, by the time I'm done, if you don't know I'm married with 4 kids and whatever sport I like and certain interests they have in anything, if you don't know the basic 5 things as a chiropractor, you absolutely suck if you don't do that, okay? If you sit with me and I can find out what your background is, what you did, like even when I'm talking to your 2 friends, Lebanese, and the other guy that's Frank. I don't know where Frank's from, but they've known you since you guys were 2 or 3 years old.
Yes.
And I said, when Doc was younger, was he a guy that was a touchy guy that wanted to always do adjustments? He says, no, he was more of a fighter. He wanted to compete, right? I want to learn about this culture. I want to learn about what you guys stand for. And I'm asking, the other neurosurgeon gentleman that was,
Dr. Rosenbaum.
that he's coaching me on, hey, here's what this market's like. I think we have to be a little bit more on the curious side. Then from there, you tell the client, Johnny, there's 3 different types of clients when they handle chiropractor. And you tell me which one you are. What's that? Number 1, those who are looking for a miracle. I don't help those guys out because I can't. I'm not a miracle worker. So if you're looking for that, I can refer you to other people. That's not me, okay? Number 2, those who are willing to come for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then when the pain goes away, they go away. I'm also not for them. And then there's a third one. The third ones are those who understand that they've probably been having chronic back pain or whatever pain for a decade or 2, and it's not gone away, and they've probably seen many different chiropractors. And they've realized that eventually they have to make this a lifelong decision. Whether we start off 3 times a week for the first 4 weeks, and then we go to 2, and then we go to 1, my clients that work very well with me, where the pain goes away, are those who make this a lifestyle decision. If that's you, I cannot wait to do whatever we can here to make you pain-free. So again, you're shaping their mindset, and the onus is now on me instead of the other way around, right? Typically, the chiropractor is trying to sell me. This way now, I, the client, have to sell you. And I'm like, no, I'm number 3. Okay, great. Because if you're number 3, we're going to have a great relationship here.
The patients I've rejected when I was in private practice gave me the most referrals of anybody. I remember once I was looking, I'm getting all these referrals from this person. I look back and go, I didn't accept him as a patient. I wasn't going to fulfill his need, what he expected. So I was like, I'm not going to be chasing my tail. And he just said he'll be honest. He'll tell you if he can help you or not. And so I got more referrals from him than anybody else, and I never even treated him. So we talked a little bit about the concept of how long this is going to go on. Of like you're not, what is it in for you, and it never ends. If you're a fighter, it never ends. So at this stage of life, I feel like I'm really just understanding what I need to do, just learning the business. What does it take to get 20 more good years, to extend 20 more years where you're at now? And what advice would you give somebody who wanted to maybe continue working into their 80s?
It's so funny you're saying this. This morning I'm at the gym with Mario. We're working out, and a thought comes into my mind. And I said, what profile of a person, how can we judge somebody is optimistic that believes future looks bright? We wear these future looks bright hats and shirts no matter where we go. We're like very optimistic about the future. What is the profile of somebody that believes the future looks bright and they're optimistic? Here's the trend. Whoever has the longest plan that they have to get the job done are typically the most optimistic people. Whoever has the shortest plan are the least optimistic people. And what do I mean by this? If somebody's like, well, we're going to see what the day is going to be like. What's your plan next year? I don't know. What's my plan next year? Least optimistic. But if somebody says, let me tell you what we want to do the next 20 years. Here's what we're going to be 20 years from. You're going to be wow, that's pretty sick. You don't have a choice but to be optimistic because you're a long-term thinker. So this year, when I did every year, I judge my business plan by how much it gets me, drives me and fuels me, right? And you can calibrate a talk. Like somebody gives a talk, you're like, it's probably a 60 score. It was a good talk, and we all do it. And we're like, yeah, that was probably an 80. You're like, I nailed it today. That's probably 92, right? Or you'll listen to somebody, I thought it was okay. So sometimes it's also business plans. This year's business plan, I spent a lot of time. Obviously, I wrote the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, which is the 12 building blocks, on business planning. It's for the audacious few. But I wrote out exactly how I want to contribute to my oldest son's success, to my youngest son, to my daughters, to my marriage, to my mom, to my dad, to my family, what relationships I want to build this year in politics, in business, in sports, in health, in entertainment and media, and how in a weird way all these relationships are approaching now and they're kind of happening. And I watched a movie last year that really inspired me, the Meet Joe Black with Brad Pitt. I don't know if you've seen Meet Joe Black. Anthony Hopkins, I love the way he acts. That movie gave me a picture about where I want to be at 65 years old, the kind of a role I want to play in that's 20 years from now. So I think I'm not telling you this to inspire you. I'm telling you this because the more you take the 20 good years mentality, the more you're excited about life. The less you overly react to a temporary setback, because you're like, dude, it's a 20-year run I'm going on. Why am I letting this destroy my... No, I mean, of course we're going to go through a lot of issues. So I think if a person is able to sit there and realize how I can recreate myself, what do I need to do to change certain habits? 5 years ago, I'm at Breakers. We're having one of our events called Next Board Council Retreat. And my CFO is sitting there, Ian. He's one of these good-looking guys that looks like Brad Pitt, a little too good-looking. And
I know the type.
yeah, he's that type. And I say, so hey, I noticed you don't drink soda, because at that time I was drinking 3 Coke Zeros a day. He said, I haven't had soda for 7 years. I said, you haven't had soda for 7 years? He said, yeah. I said, I'm going to try to see if I can go for a week. The last time I had soda was that day. So life is also sometimes about you making small decisions. I'm no longer having bread. I'm done with pizza. I'm done with candy. I'm done with cheesecake. I'm done with soda. And the more you're able to show that you're able to drop things, the level of confidence individual goes up to say, if I'm able to drop these things, maybe there's something good around the corner waiting for me. Maybe I am about to do something big with my life. Maybe I do deserve this bigger life. I think it's a very good plan to be thinking about the 20-year side. And if you do it right with your wife, your husband, your kids, your family, everybody gets involved.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been awesome. You've been listening to Patrick Bet David, and this is Parker Success Academy.